Okay, people, howdy do. I received a package in the mail the other day. Some of our parts from Race Tech in regards to the front and the rear suspension, which is our next part of the series here. We're going to start with the rear shock, mostly because it's easier. It's not, some people don't think it's easier, but you just have one of them instead of two fork legs, so I don't mind working on the shock at all. But what we're doing with this bike is, after consideration of a lot of factors, we're lowering the bike 2 inches. It's going to be a lot easier for my son to ride, and so as a result of that's led into a couple of little challenges. One of which is that the fork springs that are stock are way too soft, and the problem is that you can't get aftermarket fork springs off the shelf. In other words, Race Tech, who has just about everything, does not have replacement springs available for this bike. So you think, well, what do you do? Well, thankfully, Louis over at Race Tech was able to hook me up with a company in Oklahoma. I forgot the name of it now, but I'll tell you on a future video, that is able to wind new springs. So essentially, if we're dropping the bike 2 inches, I have to have a 2-inch shorter front spring if I want that initial plushness that I really like and I want to have on this bike. So I contacted that company, had a discussion with them. I had to measure my old spring, the outer diameter, the length, the thickness of the coils, and then I had to tell them which spring rate I wanted. And so what I've chosen to do, because we've lowered the bike 2 inches, we have to be a little bit careful not to go too soft, because it'll just be way too easy to blow through the stroke. We have 2 inches less of suspension stroke to go through, so I kind of aired a little bit stiffer than what I would normally want to do. So the rear spring is a 5.0 kilogram millimeter spring tension spring, and the front is actually going to be 0.46 kilogram millimeters, which is kind of what we use on, that's what I like on my motocross bikes. So that's a little stiffer than what you would normally use on an enduro bike, but we're going to have 2 inches of less travel, so you have to keep that in consideration. And then the other thing is, on the valving, I've got Race Tech Gold valves for the front and the back, and I want to use a softer setting on that. So I'm hoping that will kind of balance things out pretty good. But anyway, let's see what we have here, because some of you have watched the other lowering video series that we did for my other two sons. And let's take a look here. So here's the little spacer kit. They're 14 millimeter ID. I don't know what the outside is, but those are the spacers that we use to limit the opening of the rear shock. SPLS 14 is their part number. And this is interesting. They were supposed to be 2 inches, but that doesn't look like 2 inches. Let's see what they have on their spacer kit. I'm going to measure these while you guys are here. Hang on just a second. Let me get my caliper. I don't even know what color spring I'm getting here, but let me just open this up. These seem shorter, and that's why I don't know, we'll just see it. They look like they're 1-inch spacers to me. So we're in inches right now, and if you can see a little spacer, yeah, they're 1-inch spacers. I wonder why that happened. Huh. if there's another set in here. What I talked to him about was 2-inch. Oops, tickling my leg down there. That's weird. Should we see what color spring we have? It's a mystery. I don't know. Not that it matters. I mean, you could powder coat whatever color you wanted, but I'm not going to go through that expense, I don't think. Blue? Purple? Yellow? Oh, it's blue. Doesn't look so bad, huh? For a colorblind man. That'll be good. Interesting. So I'm going to have to call Louie up and ask him why I've got 1-inch spacers. Maybe, after all said and done, maybe we couldn't go with 2s for whatever. I was thinking maybe he wants me to stack them, but he told me that they'd be 2-inch spacers, but looks like I'm going to have to call him and find out. But anyway, got to check your parts before. What I'm trying to get at is I have springs that are coming for the front that are 2 inches lower than the stock fork spring, and they had to be custom wound at 0.46 kilogram millimeter spring tension. Now my son's he's about 180, maybe 190 pounds, and about 5'6" or so. So I wanted to have enough spring tension to hold him up, but at the same time not go too stiff and make it harsh, because this is going to be a trail bike. My days of riding on the track are over. I don't have any desire to go back and ride on the track. Well, I do have a desire, but I'm getting to that point in life where the consequences are just too high for eating it on a big triple and stuff anymore. So I'm going to stop riding the track, and I'm building these bikes more for trail riding. And so I think the next step is I'm going to have to call Louie next week and find out if there's a reason why he sent me 1-inch spacers, or if maybe there's some reason inside that we can't use 2-inch spacers, or maybe they just put the wrong ones in there. I don't know. Well, I'll call him and find out. But the next step is going to be to take the rear shock apart. And now I got to wait, because if they were 2-inch spacers, then I would know for sure that I can lower the back by 2 inches, and I could get started on that today. But unfortunately, because I have 1-inch spacers, I should have opened this up during the week. It's Saturday today. I'm going to have to find out on Monday if I can get 2-inch spacers or not. And if I can't, then I can just move forward and I'll just drop the bike 1 inch instead of 2, which is not ideal, because I already ordered springs for 2-inch spacers. So I'm gonna get screwed. Either I get 2-inch spacers, or I'm gonna have a problem because my springs are already being shipped. So never mind. That negates that conversation altogether. I just got to get 2-inch spacers. So anyway, we'll keep you posted, okay, guys? Thanks for coming along. Have a good Saturday, and we'll chat with you later.